Mama June and family finally reunite with Honey Boo Boo amid troubles, set out on a long road trip. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. For a family as wild and unforgettable as the Shannon Thompsons, drama is as much a staple as sweet tea in the South. But even for them, the past few years have felt like a never-ending storm of tension, separation, and healing. Now, in a rare and emotional twist, Mama June and her fractured family have found themselves back on the same road, literally and figuratively, as they reunite with Honey Boo Boo and set off on an unexpected long road trip, one that promises as many emotional potholes as it does chances for redemption. The reunion wasn't simple, nor was it planned. It emerged not from a glossy production shoot or a carefully scripted moment, but from a very raw, very real space. The need to reconnect before the ties that bind them frayed for good. A fractured past and painful distance. Alana Honey Boo Boo Thompson had spent much of her teen years growing up apart from Mama June. The separation wasn't just physical, it was deeply emotional. After June's well-publicized legal battles, her issues with substance use, and a series of tumultuous relationships, Alana had chosen stability. She lived with her older sister Lauren Pumpkin Eferd, carving out a life that offered normalcy, structure, and the kind of maternal care that had been inconsistent with June. June, on the other hand, had spiraled through one chaotic chapter after another. Though she tried to clean up her act, and at times succeeded, she often found herself 2 steps behind the trust she needed to rebuild. Her estrangement from Alana had become symbolic of the distance she'd grown from all her daughters, even if she refused to admit it. But as Alana prepared for a major transition in her own life, graduating high school and possibly leaving for college, something shifted. The gravity of the moment, the looming finality of childhood, triggered a deep ache in Mama June. For all her missteps, she wasn't ready to be left behind. A surprise that sparked the journey. It started with a phone call that no one expected. Lauren, usually the protective lioness guarding Alana from disappointment, found herself caught off guard when June reached out, not to ask for forgiveness, but to offer something simple, a road trip. No cameras, no publicity stunts, just a van, a plan, and an open road to somewhere they could all breathe. Skepticism ruled the moment. Alana had long since traded fairy tale hope for cautious realism. But somewhere between the fatigue of holding grudges and the vulnerability of her life's next chapter, she agreed, if only to see what her mother's idea of redemption looked like in motion. Packing baggage, literal and emotional. The family gathered in Georgia on a humid morning that felt more like August than May. The van, a slightly battered but spacious beast that June had borrowed from a distant cousin, sat in the driveway like a vessel waiting to absorb years of tension, laughter, and hard-won forgiveness. Alana arrived last, her expression a careful mask. Her sisters, Jessica and Anna, stood nearby, neither smiling nor scowling, just observing. Pumpkin kept one hand on her baby boy's stroller while the other gripped her coffee like it was a lifeline. June, for once, didn't try to talk her way into comfort. She stood still, letting her daughter settle into the idea of her being there. And slowly, miraculously, they started loading bags. With the engine finally rumbling and the GPS set for nowhere in particular, just west, the family began their long-awaited journey. Roadside memories and silent apologies. At first, the road trip felt like an awkward family dinner that refused to end. Conversations sputtered, music filled the gaps, and eyes remained locked on phone screens. But the highway has a funny way of chipping away at silence. It was during a roadside stop at a quirky gas station museum in Alabama when the ice truly began to thaw. Jessica found herself laughing at a ridiculous t-shirt rack. Anna got roped into taking pictures with a life-size cardboard Elvis. And Mama June, in a quiet moment, picked out a small, sparkly keychain in the shape of a honeybee and handed it to Alana without saying a word. They didn't talk about it. Alana didn't even take it at first. But hours later, tucked into the back seat with the wind whipping through a half-cracked window, she quietly slipped it into her hoodie pocket. Navigating detours, literally and emotionally. Like any road trip, the GPS wasn't always right. There were wrong turns, arguments over rest stops, and one particularly tense hour when the van's AC died in the middle of Mississippi heat. But it wasn't the physical detours that challenged the family most. It was the emotional effort, occasionally slipped into old habits. Defensive jokes, vague justifications, or ill-timed anecdotes about past relationships sparked familiar tensions. Pumpkin called her out more than once, but instead of lashing back, June began practicing something foreign to her: silence. It was during one such quiet moment, while watching the sun set over a Louisiana bayou, that the family found a rhythm. No more relitigating the past, no more apologies offered or rejected, just shared air, shared silence, and the mutual understanding that no one gets a perfect parent or a perfect child. Milestones on the move. They celebrated Alana's graduation on the road, with a makeshift ceremony held under fairy lights at a roadside motel courtyard. Loring surprised her with a cap and gown she'd stashed in the back, and Anna brought cupcakes she'd bought from a gas station bakery. There were no formal speeches, no staged moments for social media. Just clapping, cheering, and Mama June fighting tears behind a pair of oversized sunglasses. That night, Alana posted a photo to her story. A rare, raw image of her family around a fire pit, arms draped casually across one another. No captions, just one honeybee emoji. The road ahead. By the time they crossed into Texas, something had changed. They weren't just a group of women trying to coexist. They were becoming a family again. Imperfect, damaged, and messy, but undeniably bonded. Jessica began opening up about her own relationship struggles. Anna, whose own health had been the subject of speculation, confided her fears and frustrations in ways she hadn't before. And Mama June, slowly but steadily, stopped being a show and started being a mother again, if only in small, unflashy ways. Alana, for her part, wasn't quick to declare healing. But her laughter came easier, her posture relaxed. And when they pulled into a small Arizona desert town and found a local diner blasting 90s country tunes, she danced with her sisters like a girl with more memories to make. The end, or just the beginning? The road trip ended as suddenly as it began, with no grand finale or official farewell. They reached California's edge just in time for an ocean sunset, parked the van by the cliffs, and watched the sky burn orange and pink together. No one asked what came next. Alana would still be moving forward, maybe to college, maybe to new beginnings. Pumpkin would return home to her kids and the chaos of young motherhood. Jessica and Anna had their own paths to walk, their own scars to tend. But for Mama June, the trip wasn't about fixing the past. It was about showing up in the present. And for once, she had done that. A journey without maps. The Shannon Thompson family may never be traditional. They've long traded white picket fences for roadside motels, perfect holiday dinners for wild late-night brawls. But somewhere between the truck stops and desert sunsets, they found something even more valuable. A sliver of peace, stitched together by effort, humility, and the will to try again. No one can predict whether this fragile reunion will hold. Life has a way of unraveling even the tightest knots. But for a few thousand miles, Mama June and her girls remembered who they were. Not the characters from a reality show, not the headlines, but a family who once lost each other and found a road back 1 mile at a time.